Today, we are dominated by subscriptions, rentals, and digital licensing. And the idea of actually owning the things that you purchase is really fading away. And they want you to be happy about it. Now, who are they, you may ask yourself? Well, it's those massive, faceless megacorps that are just run by people who could not give any less of a shit about you. 99.9% of the time, their goal isn't to make a good product. If anything, they do not care about how the consumer feels about the product or whatever it is that they really want. All they want you to do is be dependent on their services and just locked into their ecosystems and just constantly paying them over and over until the end of time. Let's look at housing, for example. Today, we have people who are paying a huge portion of their paycheck just to afford rent month after month, year after year. And whilst we're paying thousands and thousands for a roof over our head that we'll likely never actually own, home ownership was once a realistic goal for the average working person, and that has just now drifted so far out of reach, especially for the younger generation. And it's not because we're lazy or unwilling to work. I mean, we have people out here who are working multiple jobs just to stay afloat and just even having side hustles and even after all of that, still be living paycheck to paycheck. The real problem is inflation and wage stagnation. And it's unfortunate, but this economy has been rigged to benefit the few at the expense of the many. I mean, house prices is just one example, but the prices for houses has just really skyrocketed, just beyond the point where we can reasonably afford. And things like essentials like food, energy, transport, all continue to keep on rising and rising while wages just lag behind and stay pretty low. It's not a question of whether you're ambitious enough or, it's more of a question of access. The system just isn't designed for everyday people like you and me to win. And one thing that just really annoys me is that you'll still hear some boomers out there who bought their 4-bedroom detached house back in the 1960s for £15, a bag of crisps and maybe some apple slices. And they'll still complain about the younger generation just being lazy and not wanting to work hard enough. The goalposts are always constantly moving. And unfortunately, a lot of people are just really out of touch with the reality of this. And of course, this isn't just about housing as well. It pretty much exists everywhere. So let's look at the gaming industry. The gaming industry makes more money than movies and music combined, which is a huge, huge amount of money. Game prices have risen now to like 80, 90, who knows where it's going to go. And if anything, you're spending more and you own less than you ever did. You could play the game to your heart's content, replay it, lend it over to a friend, sell it. That's it. It's your property. You can do whatever you want with it. Even keep it on your shelf as like an ornament piece. Maybe like, Super Mario 64. You can just have it right in the centerpiece of your house if you wanted to. That's ownership. That is yours. But now you can pay, I don't even know how much games are now, like 70, 80, 90, and for the looks of GTA 6, probably going to be like £3,000, maybe a new mortgage, just to own the game. And that's the thing, you don't even own it anymore. What you're essentially buying is just a really glorified lease agreement, basically. You don't actually own the full game. You get like a launcher, maybe a promise, and maybe some nice positive thoughts. You'll pop that disc into your console that you paid nearly £600 for if you're lucky. Then you'll have some updates, some more updates, and then maybe another 120 gig update. And maybe then you might just get to play the game. But then, of course, there comes like the fine print on top of that. So let's say you buy the disc and you just want to play the game. Well, now you need internet connection. You can't play the game if you have no internet. And then you need to agree to like 30 or 40 pages of just legal rubbish that you just bought. You want to play the game. You don't want to do any of this. You just want to plug the game in and play. But then what happens when, let's say you paid full price for this game and the publisher decides, you know what, this game isn't profitable anymore. Let's just shut down the servers. Well, the multiplayer mode that you paid for, gone. Single player campaign, sometimes just broken. So that thing that you bought for maybe even £100 just doesn't work anymore. And let's not forget pre-orders and day one patches. Now, you're expected to pay early for a broken game and then wait weeks, maybe months for it to actually come out the way that you intended. The game where it looks like it's going to be really good, but on launch, it's completely busted and just not working. So imagine, let's say you buy a car, okay? And, it's missing an engine. The dealership says, oh, don't worry, we'll add that later. It doesn't really work that way. But even if you buy like a physical copy of the game, nothing is truly physical anymore. A recent example of this is the new game Doom, The Dark Ages. I'm really looking forward to playing that game. I think it's going to be amazing. Now, if you buy the physical copy of the game, you buy the disc, you pop it into your console, the disc has 85 megabytes. It's not the game. I wipe my ass with 85 megabytes. You still have to download the entire game off the internet. So what are you actually buying? A nice little box with the Doom cover on it, and that's pretty much it. And I think the worst part about it is that this has just really become normal. No one even bats an eye about this anymore. And I think it's because maybe we've just been trained to just roll over and accept these things. And let's even one thing I just thought of as well: digital pricing. Okay, so let's say they have two versions of the game. You can get a digital copy and you can get a physical copy. With the digital, obviously you're not getting a box, no manual, and there's no manufacturing cost. There's no distribution. You're just buying it straight from downloading it from wherever. That's fine. You're basically just getting like a file that you can't return. But the one thing that I find very funny is that the physical and the digital are set at the same exact price. And why is that? I could understand if the physical copy was going to be more money. I get that because you're actually, you're getting a box, you're getting all that kind of stuff. But why is that the same price? It really needs, it's a question that needs to be asked, but the main answer is because they can get away with it and we let them every single time. And unfortunately, this doesn't just stop at the gaming industry. This is, as I said, pretty much every industry. Let's like look at I don't know, movies and TV shows and music and stuff like that. Streaming used to be really great. It used to be such a convenience. It was cheap. You just get everything in one place. You subscribe, you pay your monthly fee, and you pretty much got everything that you want. Well, nowadays there's like 100,000 million streaming services, all different, with all different movies and TV shows, and it just gets so confusing to the point that you have no idea what even you want to watch, what you want, what you're even paying for. And if you, let's say you like something on a certain platform, let's say you're paying Netflix and you want to watch, I don't know, I don't even have Netflix, but let's say you want to watch Stranger Things. I know that would never leave Netflix because it's a Netflix show, but let's just use it as an example. Let's say Stranger Things moves over to Paramount. So now, if you wanted to carry on watching Stranger Things, you would have to subscribe to Paramount, and so on and so forth. So let's say you've subscribed to Paramount, and then, now it's going to be moving to, Apple TV. Oh, and then you move over to Apple TV. And then, now it's moving over to HBO Max, and then you go to HBO Max. It's a never-ending cycle. Obviously, Stranger Things was just an example, but you get the drift. It can be really anything. It just gets so confusing. And on top of all of that, you're paying for these subscriptions, and you still don't actually own anything. Of course, I understand the convenience side of it. You don't actually have to, take up space in your house or whatever, and you do get easy access to loads of TV and films. I get that. That's great. But just the fact that they can remove it at any given time it's really annoying. And definitely the definition of the word buy has definitely changed, and I think a lot of people hope that we wouldn't even notice that. Now, I can't actually think of an example off the top of my head, but there's definitely been scenarios where, let's say, a film that you watched about 10, 20 years ago, you decide to pop it on and watch it, whatever streaming platform, you may even notice that some things have been like edited or censored, which that's not the original thing that you even wanted to watch, first of all, and that can be really frustrating too. So yeah, they can re-edit these movies and TV shows you're watching. They can blur stuff out, cut scenes out, and just remove it at any given notice. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. So once again, you don't own anything. They do. And they just let you look at it every now and again for £10 a month if you're lucky. The whole streaming service platform thing, it used to be about convenience, and that is just, it's not about that anymore. This is all about control. They want to control how you access things. They want to control when, what you're even allowed to access. These megacorps, they don't want you to own anything. Let's say if it's a movie, they don't want you to own the film. They want you to stream it in their 4K ultra terms and conditions. And it's even gotten so bad to the point that I actually saw this online and I thought it was a joke, but it actually wasn't. Let's say you buy a car, okay, and a very nice car at that. You have to pay a monthly subscription for heated seats. So a thing that's already in the car, okay, you paid for the car, and you have to pay a monthly fee on top of that. It's absolutely disgusting. And unfortunately, we have reached a point where nothing is truly ours. You rent your entertainment, your music, your software, your games, your housing maybe. And if you ever stop paying, then it all disappears. No refunds, no ownership, no legacy. And you don't even get a receipt. You just straight up lose access. It's very dystopian, and you will own nothing. And if you don't smile about things being taken away, then you are a part of the problem. So I've accumulated a list of just trying to fight back against these megacorps. Oh God. I feel like I'm Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk, but there are ways where you can still have ownership over things that you have actually purchased. So let's look back into some of these. So one thing's a given. I think buying physical copies of games that are and movies that you care about, I think is really important nowadays. I think physical media is more important than it ever has been. DVDs and Blu-rays, for example, are pretty cheap nowadays, and you actually get like the bonus features and stuff like that. And of course, you can rewatch it, and you don't have to pay a monthly fee, and they can never take that away from you. Number 2 is support DRM-free platforms like GOG. Now, I wish I'd done this sooner because I had absolutely no idea how bad this was, but I just want to say, I love Steam. I've used Steam for majority of my life, and it was really disappointing to find out that the hundreds of games I have bought and paid for, I don't actually own. Because this was something that I never knew about. I just assumed, like very naively, that if I bought something, that it was mine. But apparently, that's not the case. So that's why I try it whenever I can to purchase things on GOG, because they allow you to actually own whatever you pay for, which is a very, very good thing. I got two here that pretty much go hand in hand. So number one is rip and back up your own media. And number two is use your local storage instead of using the cloud for everything. So let's use an example. Let's say you've got some DVDs, some Blu-rays, or maybe some old video games or whatever. You can get them onto your computer, store it onto a hard drive, because let's say, who knows, discs and cartridges and stuff like that, they do get damaged. So by backing up your own media, you're keeping it safe and all in one place. There's a ton of different videos that you can watch and really look into on this, because I do it as well. I certainly do back up my own media, and yeah, I will never stop doing that now. Another one that is a very important one is cancel the subscriptions that does not serve you. I currently am only subscribed to three streaming services. Number one is Amazon Prime, because of the same day or next day deliveries, but they just include Amazon Prime TV and stuff like that included in it. It's a very good deal in all fairness, and I like watching the Invincibles and the Boys and stuff like that. I have Paramount Plus because I got an offer a while back for like a yearly subscription that I thought was a fairly reasonable price. Forgot to cancel it. So I don't actually watch it too much. Whenever I do watch it, I just watch like South Park on it, and that's pretty much it. And the final streaming service that I have that I do plan on eventually cancelling is Disney Plus. I do have a daughter, so these things are Disney Plus does come in handy, and obviously I love Star Wars and I love Marvel and stuff like that. I used to have Netflix and a few others that I can't even remember now, but I've cancelled the majority of them. But if there's ever a time where, let's say, Netflix release something that I need to watch, then I'll just pay the monthly subscription and I'll cancel it pretty much immediately after I've watched it and just have it for the rest of that month. But of course, there's ways around that if you catch my drift. I have not subscribed to Netflix for a very, very long time, because the majority of the stuff they release now is just not that good, unfortunately. But yeah, there is definitely a few things that you can do to gain back ownership of the things that you actually have purchased with your own money. We really need to stop this normalization of not owning your own things, because the more we play into this, the harder it will be to ever get it back. But yeah, just remember that you own nothing, and be happy about it. So thank you very much for listening. I hope I haven't put a Debbie Downer on your day. I hope you actually take back control of the things that you own and purchase. And other than that, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.